What's up, everybody? October the 20th, got a project update on Project Redline. Check it out. I have done a bunch to this thing in the past week or two. My goodness. I finally finished my work in the upper cowl on both sides. Got that all tidied up over here. I grafted in the piece from the car that I robbed it out in the field. Made that piece from scratch, made this piece from scratch, made that piece. Where the heater core sticks up through here, I went ahead and walled that off since this is going to be a vintage air car and is not going to use that. So all of that is finally strong enough to where I can hang doors on it and have confidence they're not going to move. As you can obviously see here, I have mounted it to the frame jig. I built a rail system out of square tubing up underneath here that holds it right up against the pinch weld so that the car is perfectly centered and perfectly straight with the frame jig. So wanted to do that so that I could measure off of the frame jig in the future and have confidence in where everything was. I have redone the endoskeleton in the car, getting ready to start cutting out a ton more stuff. I went ahead and tied this portion of the endoskeleton in the back into the package tray. I did that so that when I cut this entire panel out right here and all of this over here is just left dangling, you know, it won't just be flopping around with no original location. In the back of the car, I fabbed a piece that bolts to the frame jig, as well as a couple pieces of threaded rod that hook to everything back here. So the whole portion, the whole reason of tying the frame jig into this was ultimately so that my package tray did not move when I proceeded to cut out the frame rails and the whole 9 yards, cut off the quarters, the upper cowl all around here, all of that stuff. So not just that, I wanted these bars in place so that when I built my new frame rails, I had a reference of where they're supposed to go in the car. So I basically get to just lay them down on top of these, which are tied into the existing frame rails. So, an awful lot has happened with this thing in the past week or two. At this point, I believe it's ready to go ahead and start tearing it further apart. I got to get the roof off, the quarters, the rear cowl up there. Going to take off all of this tubing that you see here that runs down to the front of the car. Got to get that out of the way, and a whole bunch of disassembly. Once I get that done, it's time to rent a giant air compressor and fire up that giant yellow sandblaster. So, that's what's going on. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below. Let me know how I'm doing. If you want to see more, click subscribe. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good weekend.